Happy Friday, Millbrook. Several years ago, many years ago actually, I went on a personal retreat. And at that time, I was really carrying a lot of heavy burdens. And I met regularly with a spiritual director during that retreat, and he was wise and gentle. And at one point when I was just sharing some of these burdens that I was carrying, he said, you know, this is a real opportunity for you to be close to Jesus at the cross and to share in compassion and solidarity with others who suffer too, like Mary at the foot of the cross. Now, that might seem even heavier a burden, but at that time, I think it kind of opened my mind and my spirit and my heart a little more beyond the very particular things that I was feeling. And as we go through these weeks of Lent and we're focusing on each of the different witnesses at the cross, our scripture readings take place at the cross every Sunday. And so I've been reflecting and praying a lot about the cross. This book, The Inner Voice of Love by Henry Nouwen. Henry Nouwen is a spiritual writer and a priest, and he was actually the priest of the pastor of the community that I lived in Canada, speaks about this, about how we each have a unique experience of suffering. Jesus had a unique experience of suffering, but it's never solo. It's never solitary, because Jesus cares both personally for us and every little thing that you experience, and also gave himself for the whole world. And the cross is where all of this comes together. But Henry Nouwen talks about the uniqueness of our individual suffering. And then he says, you know, Jesus had a unique suffering as well. His disciples left him. Pilate condemned him. Roman soldiers tortured and crucified him. But the deeper truth, he says, about our own pain is that our pain is the form, it's the unique form that our suffering touches the suffering of the world. It's the concrete way that we are part of the brokenness of the world. Now, those are heavy words, but the good news is that that is also the source of our healing. For God so loved the world, and that is what Jesus is doing on the cross. He is fully uniting with us in all of the aspects of our humanity. He goes through everything we go through so that he can redeem it. And it is both as personal as your intimate relationship with Jesus, and as global as the redemption of the world. He goes on to talk about the situation that brings about our own pain is our unique form of being in touch with the human condition of suffering and brokenness. It's the concrete way in which we participate in the pain of humanity. The good news of that, especially as we prepare for Holy Week and eventually Easter, is that this is the place where all of these things can be healed. Because Jesus carried the suffering of the world, he also redeemed it. And he took on all of our sin and all of our brokenness, both individually and personally and globally, and in order that it might all be redeemed. So I pray that you this Lent will feel solidarity, that you're not alone in whatever it is that you're experiencing, that and that can deepen your compassion for others, and that others will be compassionate to you, and most of all, that Jesus is carrying your unique burdens and the burdens of all of us, because he's the only one that can, and it's all in order that he can redeem it.